It's your boy Leo back at again with another video. So, oh boy, there are some things I need to tell y'all where I've been, and oof. So I'll tell you where I've been as far as videos, how my sickness is. So that's 2.2. Number one, where I've been. Number two, how my sickness is going. Number three, what's been going on with work. That one, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be not a lot, like a lot of information, but like it's just gonna, yeah. We're gonna jump right in. We're gonna jump right in. Also, why is this not loud enough? What the fuck is going on? Hold on. I'm gonna put that back. Oh. I have to check something. Yeah, this is professional. Okay, cool. Sorry, I had to see something. This looks so different, but am I just retarded? I can't say that, can I? I can't say that word. I take that back. Am I just... Whatever. I don't know what I'm looking at. Okay. I'm just looking at things because it looks weird. But that's... I've had it. Okay, so we're going to start out with... Okay, so... Thursday I did a small video. I was sick. Okay, so we're going to start with that. Okay, so I wanted to medicate myself, and I did. Because the next day on that Friday, I was supposed to go in at 8:30 to start orientation. That Friday, I woke up completely in a daze. Like, you know when you're sick and your head's a balloon and like everything's doesn't seem real but in real at the same, you know what I'm talking about? Like a head cold, and my throat got way worse. My cough got way worse. Like I was pretty much sleeping the entire day. Friday and Saturday, I felt so ill. It was bad. And so I didn't have a video. I had to call in, and they're like, well, I'm gonna be, because like I can't say your name. I don't want to get this linked back to me because my husband is still working at this place. So I can say exactly what happened. I can't give out people's names. So we're gonna call her Drew. Drew called me back because I had to call her, and she was like, well, I'm going to be out all next week, and I would have preferred to have done your orientation, but she knew that my husband was sick as well, because he was sick out the entire week. And so, yeah, they figured, okay, you're sick, right, you most likely got it from him because he's sick. And so she was like, well, call us back. I think I misinterpreted because I thought they were like, well, we're going to see if Magdalene will do your orientation Monday. That's what I was told. And she was like, but just keep us updated. So I was like, okay. So I tried so hard to medicate myself. I could not do a video Friday. There was no way. I was in and out of consciousness, and like, oh, it was just bad. It was just bad. And so that's why I didn't do a video. Snow yam. Sam, I have a snow yam. Where's Sam live? Are you Sam? No, you're Alex. Oh, that's right. He lives over here. Yeah, and so I was like, well, crap. The good thing is that they're really nice. And, and yeah. So then I'm starting to get a little bit better. By little, underlying little, like, I was still pretty bad. I'm just gonna wait until he gets out of his house. Yeah, we're just gonna wait till Sam gets out of his house. Because I need to give him that snow yam. Snow yam. Okay, so, and then on, like, so slowly but surely, the cough and me being nauseous and loopy went away. Like, it got to a point where, like, I just could not eat. The thought of eating food was making me sick. And so it was bad. And so, but then finally around Saturday, like around Sundays when it started to get better, I thought, okay, well, definitely for sure, let me do some laundry. Hey, there's a strange doll. Anyways, that's a painting of a drink right here. Anyways. Hi, come on. Hey, thanks a million, Leo. I should have known you'd be the one to take this job. Oh, that's it. Okay. How much did you give me? Oh, that's pretty good. Anyways, so I did my laundry. I did, yeah. Pretty much. I did my laundry, and I pretty much got everything ready so that I would go to work tomorrow. I mean, that Monday. Bug guts. I like that one. What do I need to do? Oh. Yeah, we're gonna do it now. Yeah, so the Monday rolled around. That's when I started getting sneezes everywhere. Like, I just had runny nose like a faucet. Runny nose like a faucet. And sneezing. And I was like, well, shit. But I already had told them that, because I was under the impression that I had to go to work to Monday, and I was like, fuck, but whatever. So I called them at 8, like, yeah, 8, just to make sure that, like, I have definitely, no, at 7 o'clock, at 8, because I was supposed to go in at 10:30, that's right. I had called them just to make sure, like, hey, just make sure that, whatever. They're like, oh, give me one moment. And then I was supposed to go in at 2. I took a nap. That, oh my gosh. Like, straight up. Where am I supposed to place the bug in the barrel? Yeah. I was supposed to go in 2, so I took a nap because I was feeling bad. And I thought, well, let me take a nap and that'll fix that. It didn't really fix that. It just made it worse, to be honest. It was like runny nose. Yeah. And a headache. So, but I went in, did paperwork, and I want to let you premise, Monday, I didn't meet really a lot of people. It was at 2 o'clock, and their place closes at, like, like 5 o'clock. Most of the people were gone. Who am I? This is going to be some foreshadowing. Who am I interacting with? Who am I being outgoing with when all I am supposed to be doing is literally listening to her? Like the first day of work, or not even the first day, like literally like, hey, can you come back to do paperwork? And it's literally going over every page of the employee handbook. What are you supposed to do with that, right? You're supposed to what? How do normal people do this? Normal people, or at least I thought would be normal people, you would sit there, be quiet, listen, and if you have questions, ask questions. But if not, you really just try to soak in the information, right? So I thought. We're going to get to that. So I thought. And this is kind of making me mad. At first I didn't give a shit. Now it's actually making me mad. And it made my husband mad too. I know he's like, well, I guess, this is my recommendation, so I guess it's not that bad. But no, I know he's mad. I know he's going to talk shit at his job as well, because they have to know I'm going to tell my husband. I have to tell my husband what's going on. Anyways, Monday I sat there, and I was literally under the weather, and I told her, like, yeah, I thought I was doing better, but now it's, instead of it being a cough, it's, I'm sneezing and stuff like that. Yeah. But it was great. I didn't really have questions because, like, I'm soaking it in. That's usually how I work. I usually, like, don't really ask questions until, like, I get a sense of, like, what to do. Like, the first day I actually go on the floor. Because I really don't have any questions, really. It's pretty straightforward. Your first few days is going to be just PowerPoint, death by PowerPoint, and then, yeah, like, not that big a deal. The next day, because I was supposed to do, like, I could have done some training videos that day, that Monday afternoon. But she even said I would not get through with it all in one day. It's going to take more than, we're going to get to that. And so I decided, no, let's do it tomorrow. Oh, the night market. We're going to go the next day. I just want to see how many freaking bugs I can get. Anyways. So I decided, no, because if I go in because I'll be going in at 8:30 on Tuesday. And that'll give me, like, more time to a whole entire, because I didn't know. No one told me, I want to premise that, how long I was going to be there. No one told me what my breaks were. My lunches, nothing. They just said, show up at 8:30. So I show up at 8:30. But, yeah, I wanted to start earlier because, depending on. So, I go in on Tuesday. I still feel like shit. I didn't get good sleep at all. Not at all. But I'm there. And literally, they just sat me in front of a computer, said, this is the list of courses you need to take. Have at it. That's all they did. And oh shit, I am not fucking exaggerating. I am going to go in depth. I just won't say names because I literally can't. Because my husband works there. He's going to continue to work there. I don't want him to lose his job. I don't think they would ever connect me to this because this is literally living a second life. Obviously, I am pre-everything. I have not changed my name, nothing. So they don't know that and I never disclosed what I was. Like, why? I wasn't going to, because I have, and y'all don't know my real anything. So there was no way, but I want to be precautious. I just want to, take precautions. And yeah, and so the first slide I had to do, it's the first, they call it a training course, you know what I mean? It had 116 slides in that PowerPoint. 116 slides. A good 20 of them were 10-minute long videos each. The first one was not quizzed. However, I still had to take the course because it was like the orientation and she was asking me about it. So it was a long thing and I want to get through with it because on the paper that had the list of the courses I was supposed to take literally said, and she reiterated, we're going to call, I've already used Magdalene as the other lady. So that lady, we're going to call her, Beatrix. Because wasn't she evil in Harry Potter? Yeah, we're going to call her that. Because she's a wolf in sheep's clothing. She really fucking is. And so we're going to call her that. So Beatrix, plus that's not anywhere near her name. Um, she was like asking me, she was gonna ask me about, make sure that I was paying attention to the thing. And that's, obviously, I need to know what's in the orientation video. So I'm focused, right? And my thinking is, not only that, I want to hurry up and finish these slides. Because if I can't actually take my shift yet until I am done with it, we're going to call her Bethany. We like Bethany. Bethany is the receptionist I was replacing. She was supposed to be moving to bookkeeping. Because it's an equal opportunity employment. And not only that, you can move up and stuff. So it's really nice to move up in the workplace. So if you were a receptionist, you always have that opportunity to move up to a different position if you see that there's something that's better than what you're doing. Bethany is the receptionist I was going to replace. And I really liked her. And it seemed like she really liked me. That's a fucking joke. We'll get to that in a second. But, so in my mind, I was thinking, no, I really want to hurry up and try to get through these modules and these, like, things because they're really long. And because I thought, okay, so the more focused I am, the quicker I can get this done, the quicker I can be out on the floor, and the quicker that Bethany can go and be bookkeeping. Because she was really looking forward to being bookkeeping, because the bookkeeper that she was replacing was gone 2 weeks ago. They just hadn't been able to replace the receptionist. And I'm always like that. I'm very good at being a team player. I really am. And I do like working. I do prefer working in a group versus by myself. I always thought I'd be better working by myself, but I don't actually like working by myself. I do like working with people. It does make me feel better knowing that there's someone else with me. That if, not to be dependent on, but in case I had a few questions here or there, or, oh shit, I'm ranty. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's always nice to know that there's someone else also going through something with you. So, that's what was happening. So, I really wanted to make sure that Bethany got to go into bookkeeping as soon as possible. We are not going to throw those away, by the way. And so I really wanted to do that. So I was really focused, right? And wouldn't you assume that if you were caught chit-chatting while you're supposed to be doing slideshows, wouldn't you think that would look bad and they would get onto you for that? I've worked jobs that were like that. I have worked jobs like that. So I thought, no, I'm just going to do my stuff, get quickly done with it. The quicker I can do it, the quicker I can be on the floor, the quicker I can get the hang of it. Because I was actually nervous with the amount of calls I was going to be taking, the severity of the situation, because I'm dealing with, like, people who were trying to do drug rehabilitation. And so I really wanted to make sure I knew my stuff, like, because it's not just, this is just a job, I need the money. These are people's livelihoods. Like, these are people calling who are trying to make a better life for themselves. And I want to make sure I can be a part of that. I do. So that's what I was thinking. Okay, fishing, 200, because it's literally crap. Other 25, so 225. Okay, we already knew. We're going to zip through it because I want to go into the... I'm going to get that money, honey. And so... I really wanted to do it. So I was really focused on making sure that I was getting through the PowerPoint. It was a lot. I had to do 10 of them, by the way. There's a total of 10. They were all like that. Where they were either really, really long or they were short, but had, like, the last PowerPoint I did as an example, literally had a web seminar that was a video that was 50 minutes long. And I had to watch that because it was... The first one wasn't quizzed. Every other PowerPoint was quizzed. And you had to pass it. And it was one of those things where you kept taking it. You were going to keep taking it until you passed. And so... Whoops. And so, like... Yeah, I just really want to make sure I'm focused. Like, I was never a person, like, when I loved going to school, I loved learning, and I was a very focused person. Like, I did my shit. Like, teachers never had a problem with me doing my stuff. They never had to get on to me for that. They had to get on to me for talking, but even when I was talking, I would do my stuff. So, ooh, wool. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you. Yeah. And so, like, I'm gonna do my stuff. You know, I've never been an insubordinate person. I've never been one to talk back. Anything like that. It's just, I was raised Southern. Okay, when you have Southern parents, even now, someone could say I'm brainwashed, but I don't think so. It's just different raising. But I was raised that if you talk back, you're talking back. Because if an adult or someone in authority wants you to do something, you need to do that. There's a reason why they were telling you to do it. And I don't care about, well, I was raised this, or that sounds like you're brainwashed. You should have your mind of your own. You should have a mind of your own. But when there is someone in authority telling you to do something, you need to do it. That person is authority over you. You need to do your job. And stop. And it is a sign of maturity to me. That's how I raised. And I will always believe that. I will die on that hill. Anyways. My husband thinks otherwise. So like, wait, hold on. Do I even need that anymore? I just fucking... No, I don't. No, I need a foot and a cabbage and a truffle. Well, I did that. I also did this. Hold on. Some of this needs to go back. But I will die on that hill. To be honest, I don't care what y'all think. I'll always believe that. That's how I was raised. And I feel like being raised like that has helped my outlook on life. Anyways, because I've been fired, sure. But the reason why I was fired at a job is a different story, but it was me frustrated with a manager, and I was in the bathroom venting with person I thought was my friend, supposedly in front of an employee, in front of a customer, but I was still able to use them as a reference because there was no other mark on I am that person. I take my job very seriously. I'm a very professional person. And because it was raised, it's a very Southern thing where like all you have is going to be your name and whatever is tied to that. It doesn't give a shit. You can say good intention, bad intention, all you want, but it's your actions. It's your actions. Actions speak louder than words. And whatever you do is going to be connected to your name. And at the end of the day, that's all you're going to have is your name and your reputation. That may be a really old Southern thing, but it is very prevalent in the South. And my father full-heartedly believes in that. And I do too. And so when I go to a job, I'm going to give my all into it because it's my name that's going to be put on there. And I will be damned if someone's going to besmirch my name. That's just how I am. So anyways, I'm going to do my shit. So I was doing my shit. And I remember like a couple of people would stop by and ask me how I'm doing. Right? Hey, how are you doing? And I would answer them. Oh, I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm getting through my PowerPoints. And I would say with a smile. I would literally be like, oh yeah. Literally like that because my voice is breaking. So there's certain words I cannot say. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm getting through my PowerPoints, but it's a lot, but I'm really taking it in. I will do that with a smile. Okay. 2 people I remember came in that day to ask us how we were doing. Another person came in and was like, oh, I'm doing fine. Thank you. Okay. Keep that in mind. And then I didn't know I had a lunch break because no one told me. until the person I was there was another lady who was training with me. She was wanting to be the receptionist, but they had already gotten me as the job, so they were going to put her in childcare because there's a childcare facility with it where if like and it's kind of shitty because women can have their kids, but if the men have their kid, they can't. There's not a facility section for the men and their kids, and I kind of don't like that, to be perfectly honest, because like what if a dad's a single parent? But whatever. But who fucking cares? This is Texas. But anyways, yeah, we were talking. We were fine. I thought I was fine with her, but I'm gonna get into that later on. There's something with her, I think. Me and my husband have some conspiracy theories with this. We were getting along. We were having fun, whatever. Because the internet kept going out. Yeah, the internet kept going out because it was raining and shit, and they had a shitty Wi-Fi connection. And because of that, it was taking the fucking... I didn't get through... I only got through 2 yesterday. 2. Because the friggin' power kept going... Like, not the power, but, like, the internet kept going out. And, then, like, the module kept freezing and shit. And it was just so awful. It was taking forever. And we were all mad. Because she was in the middle of a test... And it froze and exited out and it completed it for her, but it failed her, so she had to retake. It was like a whole thing. But anyways, she went on break. I didn't know, and I wasn't going to assume that I had a lunch because I've been there where you assume and you're wrong. So I was like, whatever, but I went to go to the bathroom. It was around 1:15. I went to go to the bathroom. 1:10, actually. Because I wasn't feeling good. That's when the lady training me, we're going to call her Lollipop. Yeah, because she draws on her eyebrow. It's a whole thing. Anyways, we're going to call her Lollipop. Because I don't like her either. She's shady. I don't know. She's like, oh, you can take lunch, right? Like, you're staying till 10, right? Till 5, right? And I'm like, well, actually, I have no idea. Yesterday all they told me was that I was going in at 8:30. I have no idea. I don't know how lunches work, and I didn't know what time I was going to come in. No one has said anything yet. Which is true. No one came in and said, hey, you have a lunch. They just assumed you would know. Mind you, I just started that day. No one had told me anything. But I was very nice about it. I was like, oh, no one's ever really said anything. All I was told was I was supposed to be here at 8:30. I have no idea. She's like, oh, well, if you're going to stay till 5 anyways, you might as well get a lunch. And I'm like, I guess I'm staying till 5, I guess. She's like, okay. This is what they love. Sebastian loves roasted chicken and sashimi. Yeah. Anybody wants to know that. Anyways. Okay, so that's gonna be like... Okay, so anyways, yeah. That's what I said, and I wasn't lying, and I'm not going to. I'm gonna be very front, but I wasn't, like, rude about it. I wasn't mad about it either. I just didn't know. I don't wanted them to know that I didn't know. Because I wasn't told. Which is fine. That's what I said. She's like, oh, well, go ahead. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm staying till 5. I just need to tell my mother-in-law. Because she was the one driving me to work. And so I go to the bathroom, get my stuff. I had a lunch because I did pack a lunch anyways. Because the off chance that I did have a lunch, I would have something to eat. And I packed me a sandwich and a Jell-O cup. Because I'm 4 years old and I love Jell-O. Anyways. Also because when I was sick Friday, my husband was going to like H-E-B. And he was like, bruh, what do you want? And I literally couldn't think of anything that I'd be able to eat. But Jell-O was soft enough for my throat. So I was like, dude, give me some Jell-O. So he did. And yeah, so... Yeah. So I go on my lunch. And I'm on Twitter. I am on Reddit. for my lunch, right? You're reading. Because it's an hour long, and I never had an hour long lunch before. So I was like, cool, I could catch up on my reading on Reddit, because I always go on the trans Reddit to see about that. I like to go on Twitter. You know, just doing some things. Doing some things. Well, someone comes in, and I didn't hear them talk. No biggie. They had said something and I didn't hear them because I was reading my Twitter, like, and I was like, but I heard a noise. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. What did you say? I'm sorry. And she's like, oh, I asked you how you're doing. Oh, I'm doing fine. Thank you. I'm sorry. It's just that I was on Twitter and I was reading and I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. Like, with a smile and everything. Like, overly, very American stereotypical, what you would expect from an American to do. Okay, now I know why foreigners, because at first I always thought foreigners are exaggerating, because when someone asks you how are you doing, we don't literally mean give me your life story. We just want you to say hi back. Hi, how are you? I'm doing good, thank you, how are you? And then you just go on your day. That's it. That's it. That's it. Now I know why foreigners think we are annoying. Okay, cool. So that's what happened, right? That's what I said. That's it, right? One would think that, wow, that's really overtly polite. What the hell? But yeah, you did it okay. Said it in my husband's Final Fantasy Discord, and they are livid about this whole situation. Yeah, but I was very polite. You know, obviously. I subconsciously default to polite. I was born Southern. My mom did not raise a fool, right? So I that's like me now. That's not even, because people also like to think that Americans are fake and we're faking it. No, we naturally are like that, especially in the South. You would just grow up to just do that, and you just generally want to see people happy. You generally want to walk out, you see someone at the grocery store, it's 8 a.m., say him a howdy, say him a hello. Neighborly. Because I live in a very rural Texas southern town. So foreigners might think, oh, this is fake. I'm not being fake. I'm genuinely like this. I generally want to say, hi, how are you? Because when you say, hi, how are you with a smile, it makes someone happier. It makes their day. I can guarantee you. It'll make their day. They're like, hey, yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you. Because in my book, we're all in the same boat and we should be looking out for each other and making each other feel good about themselves. But now I'll generally gravitate towards saying that. So that's what I said. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was reading my Twitter, but I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you? Again, I apologize. I was reading Twitter. I didn't hear you. That didn't take anything out of me to do. That was legitimately, that's how I am. Right. And so the hour goes back. Oh, and then I met the CEO again, and I asked him, and we were talking and stuff. I was smiling and stuff. But it's a lot, and I was falling asleep because there's a lot of long PowerPoints. I was doing them. So I go back, and again, the Lollipop Guild, she's not short, she's taller than me, so no, I'm not doing that. But I noticed she was checking up on us, like, every 10 minutes, and it was always the same, like, okay, you're gonna check up us on every 10 minutes for, like, an hour, what are you expecting is gonna happen? The changes of it all, right? Like, nothing really. I'm going to say, oh, I'm doing fine. I'm still doing fine. Thank you. I'm getting through the module. I'm on the second one. They're just a little bit, they're a little bit long, but I'm getting through it, right? Well, then around 3 o'clock, it was like around 3:25, 3 o'clock. Who did I call her? Beatrix, who is the CEO's fiance, and we're going to call him Lord Voldemort. Okay, so Beatrix and Lollipop. Well, Lollipop goes into the training room. And she says, "Hey, we need you in Beatrix's office." Or is it Bellatrix? No, it's Beatrix, right? Hello, bottom card's fucking character. Anyways, you were needed in the office. And of course, you do that thing like, ooh, am I in trouble? I hope not. And I was saying, oh, I hope not. In high school, I never really was called off to the office, so I hope I'm not. Which is true. I hardly ever got called off to the office. I am just that person that just follows rules and I just do my thing. Mostly because I had a shit fucking childhood. I wanted to get done with high school as soon as possible because I was also heavily bullied. I was heavily bullied. I already had enough problems. I thought if I just did my shit and I had less people hating on me, the better. And I didn't want because at the end of the day, at least if I had faculties back, none of those people, I would have them helping me with the bullying. It was bad. Anyways, so I was being real and making small talk, right? Yeah. Well, I get called in. They literally, so what's going on, I just want to let you know, part of what the fuck did I say? It was like part of, us hiring you is that you're supposed to be cheerful and outgoing and bubbly. And we haven't seen it from you today. As I said, we haven't seen that from you today. Okay? And I also want to let you know that we've had multiple, sorry, I went too loud, multiple employee complaints about you. That you're not friendly. That people had gone up to you and tried to ask you how you were doing, and all you say is, you're doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm good. And she's like, and part of being a receptionist is that you're supposed to be bubbly and cheerful, and we just didn't really see it today. I mean, what's going on? And I told I don't understand. It just seems something. I just don't understand what's going on. I thought I was doing good, and I mean, I'm a little bit under the weather. She's like, that's not an excuse. Even if you're under the weather, you need to be cheerful. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. I also have a headache too, and I'm doing it though. I thought. It's like, well, maybe we just go ahead and you go home early, get some rest, and really think about if you want this. I mean, do you really want to work here? That threw me for a loop. I have never, ever been complained about that I was not a friendly person. Ever. At my workplace. In real life, I'm an asshole and I know I'm an asshole. At my workplace is a completely different story. At my workplace, I'm not lazy at work. I'm lazy in real life. So that makes sense. I have two completely different personalities between what I do at home and how I am at the workplace. Okay? To the point where my dad was kind of confused too. So I call my mother-in-law. I tell her in the car, this is what's happening. She was fucking confused. Because I have always been told that I was sweet, I was nice, bubbly, old people love me, right? Okay. I used to work at a call center in Sitel. Capital One and Aeon Travel. Capital One, I was digital tech support. I was digital operations. I was tech support. Everything wrong with a website, you call me. Trying to get into your bank account online, you have trouble, I'll help you with the website. I worked Aeon Travel. You're trying to get some some travel insurance with your trip, I can walk you through the process. You need to make a claim because you had to cancel your trip, I'll help you do that. There is something called at Sitel called CSAT scores. CSAT, like you sat down. Customer satisfaction score. There's a survey at every single call that gets to rate how the customer service representative did. One of the questions is, would you hire them if you want to make any other comments? My CSAT scores were always between a 98 and 100%, and that was even during COVID. Because I've always been told I have a very nice, bubbly personality on the phone call. This is not my first rodeo. I've always worked in customer service. I've always worked in food. I literally had a customer service job. I've always worked like that. Always. I know how to talk to people. I have social anxiety, sure, but I know how to talk to people. My supervisor at Aeon, can I even say it? I'm going to tell her. Her name is Macy Green. She never liked me. Although, Aeon was very cliquish. And if you didn't get along with certain people, you were never going to get along with certain people. I never got along with Macy Green. There's a script. If you ever call someone a call center and they sound scripted, it's because they literally have to talk through a script or they'll get written up. Certain set of rules that you have to talk through. Talking points. They have to do that. I hardly ever followed that, and she always wanted to get me written up. Her manager was Dina. She loved me and was the reason why I stayed on Miss Seitel for so long. Like for that one was like I think like 7 months. No, close to a year, like 9 months. Because my CSAT scores were 98% to 100% all the time. The only time it ever dipped was the very last week I did. It was during COVID, obviously. I've literally felt like I was scamming. Aeon's a scam, I think. If you cancel your trip because you were like, you yourself weren't actually quarantined, but you were in a city that locked down, that didn't qualify, so you were not going to get money on your trip. Obviously, the customer's not going to call satisfied at all. We would have, like, literally, we would log in at 7 o'clock in the morning, and there already be 300 calls in queue. There would be 2 hours on a phone call just to get me and to where I couldn't even help you. You're going to be mad. They never understood why the customers were mad during COVID. That is why. You're literally on the phone for 4 hours, and then they get someone, it's all for them to say, it's not covered. That could have been done in an automated system. We kept telling them that. They never understood. My CSAT score did down to an 89, which is still good. Great, but still good. I'm telling you this because I've never been told. I'm like, pause. This is not even funny anymore. I just want to rant. I've never been told I was rude in a work setting like that. Ever. My first job was Taco Bell. One of the managers did not like me. The original manager loved me because she loved how sweet and bubbly I was. I was also a teenage girl. I was an 18-year-old girl. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Of course, I'm sweet and bubbly, and I hate to describe myself with that, but that's the reality of it, and that's why I have gender dysphoria, and I'm trying to get therapy. But anyways, yes. Always been sweet. Very nice. I've never had that problem. Even at Olive Garden, even at Seitel the first time, I always get customers say, yeah, we would hire her. I know it'll gross, but bear with me. It's in the past. Would always hire that person. Like, yeah, I would always get along with coworkers. They would always be like, dude, never say, like, I would always say sweet and, like, stuff. Like, it was like that. So, like, it threw me for a loop, which I didn't understand what was going on. Oh, yeah, so this is what it was. I was like, so when you're doing orientation and have to sit through hours worth of PowerPoint, and someone checks in on you and is like, hey, is everything going all right? How would you guys respond? I think I'm having an issue because this is the first time since I started working at 18 that I had complaints from other employees for not being friendly. Like, I don't get it. Like, my response was a smile, and I said, oh, I'm doing fine. That's a lot. It's a lot, but I'm getting through it. I went through 3 PowerPoints today. Each one had 100 slides, and I'm focused because it's quizzed. And, like, I was pulled into the office for not being friendly. And they were like, well, we're going to send you home early and just think about it, what was said. They were like, where's the bubbly employee being interviewed? And I'm like, what is going on? Like I said, I'm still sick. And they were like, well, even if you're sick, you still got to be perky. And apparently multiple employees complained that they tried to say hi to me. I just don't know what to do differently. Like, I have 10 other PowerPoints to get through. Mandatory to complete before my actual shift. That was the whole thing. So then that happened, right? Then my husband goes into work that day. He said that. And they all were like, what the fuck is going on with that? That's bullshit. Eric comes in to the place. Shit. Lord Voldemort goes in to where my husband works, graveyard, takes a picture of what looks like a perfectly clean bathroom. And I thought, wow, good job. Because I thought he was taking a picture of the bathroom. Because he was like, bruh, like, look what I did. I cleaned this bathroom. Because it looks really nice. To my standards, I have very high cleaning standards. And to my standards, this looks very clean. He said, guys, I need help. I'm at work and got told, you guys need to deep clean the bathrooms because the big boss is coming down and said the state of them was unacceptable. What part do I clean? We were all like, wow, disgusting. How unacceptable. Because we were being sarcastic because literally in the picture, it literally looks like the perfectly cleaned bathroom. So it turns out the marks by the toilet are... Oh, wait, hold on. The CEO got his hackles up because a huge donor is about to do a walkthrough to see how their money is being spent, which might also be why they're being strict with me on my first day. So that's what the theory we got first. That's the first theory we got. The next day I go, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? What the fuck am I supposed to do, right? So I thought, well, let me do the exact opposite of what I did yesterday. And I really tried. I mean, I fucking even talked about the goddamn weather. I don't give shit about the weather. But bitch, I'll fucking talk about it. So then I go in the morning. I had a lot more sleep that day. Went in the morning and was like, I immediately went into the receptionist and I really started like, hi, how are you? Good morning. Oh man, gosh, I can't believe it's still raining outside. God, and it's so cold. She's like, I know, I hate the cold. I'm like, God, I really wish it would just warm up already, you know. What you would expect a stereotypical American would say. And yes, it made my skin crawl too. But I was desperate trying to do things. I really wanted a job. And I don't like to quit. And I really wanted a job because I never had a receptionist before. I've always had a very, like, a busser, a server, a manager, like, crew chief. Like, I've had a very hands-on job. For once, I really liked working in an office. You know, like, I deserve that. Literally worked fast. Like, I've been on my feet. I would like to, people are like, well, that's not for now. Like, I've done a lot of shit. And when you're a server at fucking IHOP, the graveyard shift, you're going to be the hostess, the busser, the server, the cook, and the dishwasher. All at the same time. Trust me. That's how I became a crew chief there. Because I already knew how to do shit. Anyways. I really wanted the job. I thought it was still worth it. I thought, okay, you know what? Play ball. And I'll do this. Well, I didn't do fuck all. Because I noted. I said hi to fucking everybody. Everybody. And... Alright, 3:46. Yeah, I'm gonna leave my animals alone because I'm allowed to do that for a second. And we're gonna go straight to the mines. It's a rewind, but okay, I already did clean. Okay. Oh shit. Where am Mama? Good morning, dear. It was a lovely walk out here. I haven't seen this old farm in a long time. It looks even better than I remember. Here, I brought you a little something. It's a gift from one gardener to another. Received a garden pot. These spots are really handy. You can use them to grow crops for rainy season indoors. They also look nice outside, but out here they can only house in-season crops. If you need more, they're really easy to make too. Here, got an old magazine clipping with instructions. Ooh, I learned grandpa. Well, I better go. George gets grumpy if he doesn't have his oatmeal on time. Have a great day, honey. Okay, cool. Yep. Yeah, we need clay for that. Okay, anyways. Oh, wait, no, I need a letter. Leo, sorry to bother you again, but I need another favor. I got a new hammer and I want to try it on because you smell an iron bar. Okay, cool. No, we will do that later. Okay, cool. So, anyways. I'm not saying hi to everybody, dude. I noticed I would say hi to people and they would literally not say hi back to me. Or they would just say, yeah, I'm doing good. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, yeah. As soon as I walked in, I talked about the weather. Am I doing it right? Also, they only said good morning to me. One of them just like, wow, they didn't talk about the weather back. Should probably complain that they were being rude. I was like, I know. They only said good morning. Like, how rude. Then, at around noon, I was like, so I think I still have the job. Because he gave me the tour of the facility the people live at. Like, the clients that live there. Also, every single person that was introduced to me has said that they wished me luck and that the receptionist job was the worst job. Like, all of them said they felt sorry for me. Literally, every single person at the other facility that I was introduced to said that they would literally wince, be like, I am so sorry you have this job. And that they're like, good luck to you, but that has to be the worst job with the calls you get. I was never told that, by the way. They all made it seem like, oh, don't worry, it's not that big a deal. You'll get some things, but whatever. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to get to that. They sent me to the facility. We did a tour. We did a walkthrough. I met everybody that worked there, but minus the graveyard and the evening shift. And I was making rapport. I was, like, talking with them and stuff. And, like, I thought I was doing good. Right? Then we went back. I went on break. And, you know, at one point, they made me an employee ID, by the way. Employee ID number that I would use to, hold on. That I would use to log in to clock in and out. Because at that point, I was doing paper. But it's online. And then, shortly after that, they gave me they took my picture, and they made me an employee badge. 30 minutes after they did that, I get called in the office with Beatrix, or Bellatrix, and fucking Lord Voldemort. This is what they said. I thought, because every time I went to the office, I thought, oh, are they doing that thing where, like, you know, like when you're doing orientation and they, like, send you to a side and be like, so how's it going? Just checking up on you, like, privately, right? I thought it was one of those. Oh, how I was wrong. I said, so I was let go because I quote, for this position, we're looking for someone who is always cheerful and bubbly, and we didn't see that at all this week. We have very high standards, so unfortunately, it's not gonna work out. But we wish you the best of luck. I called my dad, and of course, my dad is fucking useless, and he said, well, you've never been bubbly or cheerful. And I'm like, yeah, but at a job, though, have I ever told you they were complaining that they didn't like me because I wasn't friendly? He was like, oh, yeah, well, that does sound weird. That does not sound right. And I'm like, thank you, Father. Yeah. And some of them were like, well, oh, yeah. So when I said that, like, oh, yeah, and then I know my dad, and he's not helpful. one of the guys was like, and by this week they mean yesterday, which was a good point. All week? No, bitch, that was my second day. They said that they seemed like it was someone's like, that is true. Nobody deserves to be shit on for an entire day then told they weren't good enough vibes. That wouldn't have been a one-time thing. And my husband was like, I'm bummed that it didn't pan out since it was my own recommendation, but at the same time, what are you going to do against, we just don't like you. Then I said, I did hear from where my husband works and the main office that those two sets of staff don't fuck with each other. It's very separate. Like, main office is one click, and Aku's place, shit, my husband's workplace is another. You'll never get into this Discord. So I'm going to get into that. Tuesday, I was overhearing the receptionist desk. Apparently, Bethany had a really bad call. And they were saying, yeah, well, I hope she knows I'm going to dead gender me for a second because I hate my life and I'm a masochist. But I'm going to do word for word. Yeah, well, I hope she knows that she's going to be starting next. I'm not out, by the way. Okay, only to a few people. Okay. God, I fucking hate that. I'm going to say it or something. Oh, no, I have to. It's so cool. Oh, shit. Ugh. Well, I hope they know. There you go. That's a little bit better. God, forgetting myself. Well, I hope they know that they're going to be starting by themselves tomorrow, Monday. And they're going to have to deal with that phone call. They're going to have to deal with you. Started laughing and stuff. Okay, that was one that I was like, well, that's kind of shady, but I'm not gonna listen to it. I'm gonna ignore it. Do my own thing. But I was like, what the fuck? I was already starting to be like, this isn't what it seems, I don't think. I think they're trying to pull the wool over my eyes. Because I'm getting told, no, this is a fantastic job, blah, 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 blah. And then also being fucking fear-mongered. So that's weird. Then today, I have a theory. I have a couple of theories. I thought the person I was training with we were cool. She did say Tuesday, that she had applied for the receptionist job, but said that they had already given the position to me, but that you'll be doing childcare. And she really didn't want to do childcare at all. Because she wasn't really looking for that job, but she was going to go ahead and take it because she really needed a job. We've all been there, right? She seemed pretty fucking mad about that. But I thought we were still cool. Whatever, right? So the day goes around, right around the same time, it was around like 10, she goes up to the receptionist desk because she had to go to the bathroom, whatever. She's talking to I overheard her saying that, like, I forgot what she was even saying, but I was overhearing them saying, yeah, it's going to be a receptionist, and she's going to be all by herself, and I don't know about that. I don't know if she's... Yeah, I remember, like, the training lady was like, well, I don't know if she's, like, really ready for that. I mean, it's a big deal, isn't it, you guys? Like, kind of stirring the pot, I think. That's why I overheard her, because I can hear them. The freaking conference room we were at was literally right next to receptionist desk, and the door was open at all times. So that was stupid of them. And I was like, whatever, I'm going to pay attention to that. But I was like, okay. Oh, wait. Okay. It's 12 p.m., not 12 a.m. But yeah, and so I thought, well, I'm not going to deal with it. Whatever. I'm not going to pay attention to other people. I'm just going to do my thing. That if they want to gossip, they want to gossip. That's what I heard, and I thought, well, what the fuck? But I wasn't going to say anything, because I'm going to do my thing. And then, since all that shit didn't really add up, like, why would you give me my employee number, my badge, and then an hour later let me go? I have a couple of theories. Theory number one that I mostly had until my husband brought up a good point. I think the person that was telling them that I was not friendly, I think was the person I was training with, because they were mad that they wanted the receptionist job and she didn't have it. Theory number one. Makes sense. Because she did say the whole, like, well, I hope you know what they're getting into, right? That's theory number one. Okay, well, we're gonna look at that later. I can always go into connections and look at those. Also, I'm trying to hurry because I also want to do the night market because there's fishing. So that's one of them, right? Okay, cool. Theory number two. We think that, which was the very first idea my husband had, that what if they had hired me and when they got her, realized they wanted her instead, so they tried everything they could to weed me out. Because they already had made up their mind, but since they had already offered me the position, they still had to carry it through. That's one. That was one of them. Number three, I think that because there's a big donor that's going to do a walkthrough. They're a non-profit organization. They accept donations. So, in order for this facility to come up, one of them, which almost confirms it, is, I don't want to say the company fucking, no, can I say United Way? United Way does it. United Way is the big donor that was doing a walkthrough of this facility. I think because that was going to happen, they decided to, because at first they were going to hire me, that they actually did like me, but when they found out that the donor was going to go make a walkthrough to see how the money's being spent, because the whole point of a donor is that at any time, the donor can, like, stop making donations to it, and they don't have to have a reason for that. They can just stop donating. That's why a lot of them will bend over backwards to appease the donor, because you want to keep them donating money. You know, right. Oops, what the fuck did I put in here? I don't know. That's a theory. I'm gonna go to my thing and then we're gonna go to the Jolly Market. That is one theory. So because of that, I think they were going to hire me and they were on board, but when they found out on Tuesday that there was going to be a major walkthrough, they decided because they're up in their own ass with this is bad. Strict, very strict. I think that they were going to, but then when they realized that, they decided, well, let's not hire them. Let's just keep the old receptionist until after the donor gets done with their walkthrough, just to ensure that they can continue to have donations. That's what I think. That they were going to do it, but then they found out that, and then go, oh, well, shit. And Texas is one of those places where for the first 90 days of unemployment, they don't have to give you a reason to fire you. They can just fire you for any reason. It doesn't matter. I work in one of those states, and I kind of, to be honest, yeah, I don't give a shit about that. Yeah, I mean, reason or not reason, right? But I think that's what it was. Honest to God thing is because of the third one. I think, like, because the way they were giving all of this, I literally think that they just didn't want to have fresh people, and to ensure that they still look good, just keep the old staff. And because one of the ladies, because the lady is going to go to a different building entirely, and that looks better having a new person than having a new person as a receptionist. Oh, so this is the night market. What does the bin look like? Oh no! This barrel is gone. I have 5 more. Oh my god. When does this end? When does this end? But we think that because my dad made a good point with donors. They're gonna have extremely high standards, more so than they would ever have, because they need to keep those people. Oh, okay, this is the last day. I can do that. I actually can't do that. I can do that tomorrow. Okay. So we think that I either think 1 is a combination of 1 and 2 where they were gonna hire me, but then the other lady showed up. But since they already offered me the job, what are they gonna do? So then they try to make it seem like, oh, well, they just don't like me. You see, this is what it sells. Get some seasonal stuff. I like to get the seasonal plants. I'm gonna plant Dad, by the way. I love all these seasonal plants. Okay. Yeah. Oh! Hold on. This is how I get a pearl. Hold on. This is how I'm gonna get a pearl. Yeah, I'm cheating. I don't care. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, you can get this stuff. Already have those. Yep. I mean, it's a really lovely, cool, like, market. Ooh. Pretty. Ooh. Yo. Feel snack. I'm just gonna eat all this. But that's what I think. I think it was either like, but then she showed up. Like I was gonna get hired, but then she showed up, and they thought she was a better candidate. But they didn't want to look bad, so they already made up their minds. But they just wanted to make it seem like, oh, it was my fault. Or they were gonna hire me and they were gonna be okay with me, but then they found out the donor was coming through, and they decided it would be best if they kept old people first. Older employees. Oh yeah, you can get free coffee, bro. It's really cool. He makes his own coffee. And it'd be best. They thought it would look better since it's the receptionist job. They're the front of house because they take all the phone calls, literally all the phone calls, and they get people wanting help. They get the government, like lawyers and shit like that, because they work with like people like. No. Okay, I can't use this on ring anymore. Fuck. Because they get that, and so. No, I'll just walk on. So that's what they thought. Like, oh, it'd be best if they kept their just for now. They kept the fresher employees. It makes sense, but it is really freaking sucks because I feel like I wasted my time. I literally sat through a whole day's worth of PowerPoints for nothing. I feel like I wasted my time. I could have had a different job. And I was. If they hadn't called me on Friday, I was going to apply to a different job. Because I was like, well, let me go ahead and apply. But then they called me that Friday and then the freeze happened. So it's like, whack. Whack. And I'm like, that's why I'm kind of more mad. I'm more mad that it really wasted my time. I could have done something else with that. So now, and then my husband feels bad because he was the one that recommended the job. Because his job is fine. Like, his place is cool. Mine, not so much. I like plants. Okay. 4 gene 100, 3, 103. Well, I mean, you know. What you gonna do? So that's how I feel. Our friends in our Final Fantasy Discord chat are fucking pissed. Because it sounds bullshit. It is. Dear Leo, I would like to give you some information about an upcoming event, the Feast of the Winter Star. It's a time for the community to come together and think back on all the good fortune we've had this year. A favorite tradition is a secret gift exchange, where everyone in town is randomly assigned to someone else. On the day of the festival, everyone brings a gift for their secret friend and surprise them with something special. This year, your secret friend is Caroline. Don't tell anyone. The feast will take place on the 25th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the town square. See you tomorrow. That means I just give her a gift. Like, you just look up, like, what's her favorite thing, and you gift her, and it's like a whole thing. And you get a gift, too. That's gonna be fun. We're gonna do that. But yeah, there's not much more I can say, but, like, I am kind of bummed. I've been using the whole, like, oh, that person only said they're doing good, they're being rude. It's kind of, like, ludicrous. Like, I literally felt like, you can still tell I'm still sick, by the way. I am. But I'm trying my fucking best. Most places will give you A for effort, and they didn't. So, there's, like, some conspiracies of that. It just seems like, you know, like, when someone reacts to what you do, but in such a way where, like, did we just witness the same thing? That's what I felt like. I literally felt like, oh, like, parallel universes crossed. There's a universe where I was rude, and that's the reaction I got. But you know what I mean? Like, I felt like we were living two different realities. That's what I feel like. Like, it doesn't even seem real. Like, that's why we feel like we have some conspiracies, because it just doesn't make sense. And it was so it just doesn't match up, because why would you go out of the way to give me all this stuff and still... And it's like, it was like there's no communication between the receptionist giving me my giving me my badge number, giving me my badge, with the trainee giving me a badge number, and them letting me go because it just wasn't going to work out. It just doesn't, none of that makes sense. An iron bar, an earth crystal. It just, none of it makes sense. And so, yeah. Also, I have some dirt. Apparently, the people at the facility my husband works at, they don't get along with the main building people. So apparently, the main building people will put in policies that clearly shows that they have no idea how the actual direct care works. Like, you could clearly tell that the people working admin in the admin building have no idea how the people who work in the direct care, how they do their job. Like, they don't actually mesh well together at all. And because the lady who was training me was talking about their friends, and they said, yeah, I don't really hang out with the people at the direct care. You're not really going to either. It's very cliquish. Yeah. So there was more with it than I think meets the eye as well. That's why I have my other theory. Ah, the item I requested. Your work was satisfactory. Here is your compensation. Cool. Bam. There are many mysteries around us. You must be patient if you wish to discover them. Pretty. Which is why I thought it was bizarre when everybody was like, oof, everybody at the direct care facility, I'm not going to name what it is called, it's not called that, was like, ooh, well, I feel sorry for you, man. Like, that's the worst job. Like, I really feel bad for you. And I thought they were all being, like, one or two would be sarcastic and like, aha, no, like, every single one. Like, every single one. Even the, like, people that are, like, in the rehab using the facility, like, the clients were like, well, I hope you got good because you're going to be dealing with people like us. And I'm like, okay. But, yeah, like, yeah. So there's, like, I feel like there's more to meets the eye with this. But yeah. Yep. I'm just like, okay. I mean, the good thing is I just start off from square one. I think that's the thing about rejection is that people think, oh, it's going to be worse than when you start off. No. Rejection, you'll just start at square one. It'll never be worse than what you started out. You know? So now I just got to think about another job. Applying to the hospital in town because it's making... What they're doing is they're building a bunch of buildings around the main hospital. Because what they're doing is they're trying to get it more centered downtown. Because before, if you for instance, if you wanted to get an MRI, you would literally go on the other side of town south. And then if you need something for your eyes for the same hospital, you go in the complete opposite direction west. So it's all spread out. So they're trying to make it more centered in the downtown, make it a downtown hub, like a hospital district area. And there's a lot of job openings, a lot of entry level job openings. So I didn't read that. I'm sorry, guys. Ooh, 500. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna apply for a receptionist job. I'm gonna be livid if I get the receptionist job at a freaking hospital, but I wouldn't be able to do it from there. And the reason why I don't want to say the name of the facility, even though I don't work there anymore. They can't hold me against me. Is because this is such a small town that there's not very many places a lot of people can go for drug rehabilitation other than literally the mental hospital. And that's not the same. It really isn't. So, and they do good work. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to work there, because they do. And it's you literally are making a difference. You're actually helping people. And the way they were talking about the people who are drug users, they literally were making it sound like they're normal human beings. Because that's one of my pet peeves is when people treat people with drug addiction as a completely different person. It's what, you've never made a mistake before in your life? I know you have. They're still people. These are still human beings that deserve rights. So I am glad. So that's why I wanted to work there, because it is reputable. So I don't want to say the name or anything and get its reputation. Because just because a few employees are petty and still think it's high school doesn't mean the facility itself deserves that, you know what I mean? How much money did I get? What? 3,000. That's good. That's pretty good. Yeah, we needed all that. We needed all that, guys. But just because of that doesn't mean I really don't think so. I don't think I don't fully believe that one bad employee deserves the reputation of a whole ass company to be destroyed, especially not something that is actually really good company, and since there's so few in the area that I live in. But yeah, plus again, my husband works there, and where he works is a lot better. But it was just and it was weird because one of my friends made a good point. It was oh, how dare this person who literally just started, hasn't acclimated yet, doesn't really know anybody yet, how dare they not talk to them as if they know them their whole lives. And it's no one is really like that. Even if the most outgoing people are not going to be like that. First off, you're going to be a little bit nervous. Everybody said that they were nervous when they first started, and why? It's just so many discrepancies, to be honest, guys. And it just makes me mad. It really makes me mad. Just tell me you found someone else that you think would be a better person. Or tell me that, there's a big donor coming in and we believe that it'd be best if we hold off or something like that. Don't pull that. I hate it. It's one of my pet peeves is when people don't hold accountability for themselves. Own up to it. If you just don't like me, fucking say it. Just fucking say, because this is Texas. There's literally in the rule book that says you can terminate me for any reason within 90 days. Then fucking tell me we just don't like you. Or, like, we have a big donor coming in and we think it would be better if we didn't have someone so new yet. But don't try to make it my fault. I'm tired of that shit. I'm just tired of, just be fucking upfront. If you're a bitch, fucking own up to that. I own up to me being an asshole. I don't care if you're an asshole or not. Just fucking, what I care is that when people who are assholes and then try to be like, oh, but the sunshine and flowers and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm just a sweet person, but really you're a bitch. Fucking own up to it. If you're gonna be a bitch, fucking own up to being a bitch. Stop making excuses. Start making it everybody else's fault but yours. If you do not like someone just because you just don't like them, and that's fine. A lot of people don't like a lot of people for that. Like, people are of this weird mindset that, like, if someone doesn't like you, they have to have a reason to not like you. No, some people just don't like you. Some people just don't like you just because, and that's fine. But, like, don't try to make it be like, well, you know, and this, that, and no. Just be like, I just don't really like you. I don't know. It's not. There's nothing personal, really. It's just, I just don't really like you. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. That's what... I just don't like that, you know? Okay. I just don't really like that because, like, it's so... just fucking own up to your shit. Really. Ugh. But anyways, yeah, this is fucking... This is making me mad. Yeah. And I feel bad too because, like I said, I feel bad for my husband because he had such high praise for the place he was working for. And then to think that that's how they treat, like, that's how admin treats their, like, new hirees, it's like, well, that's a bad taste in his mouth. And I was like, dude, don't quit your job. Your place that you work at is great. Keep it there. I'm so curious to find out what people think about me being let go. Because you know he's going to tell them. Who do they care? Those admin people hardly ever show up there. They don't even know who works there. Except for the receptionist because she has to, like, take calls and forward them to them. But yeah. And I'm just so curious. Oh, and it just sets me back because, you know, I'm trying to save up money for shit. There's a lot of cussing in this freaking thing, but, like, and I do apologize for my thing. I'm just, like, I'm ranty. I'm mad. Because I needed a job. And, like, I really wanted to work this job. I wouldn't be coming up there at 8 o'clock in the morning sick if I didn't actually want the job. It's like, how fucking dare you assume that I wouldn't be able to make a decision for myself, that if I didn't like something, I wouldn't be able to walk away from something. How fucking dare you assume that, you know? It's taken me a long time to mature and to realize that, you know, I can say no to things. It has. But I'm to a point where if I don't like something, I will be straight up with you. And so it's like, to assume that I wouldn't do that, to assume that, like, I was still wishy-washy is kind of, like, insulting. Because, like, I would not be up there wasting my own time if I didn't want that job. Especially if I'm sick. I'm to that point now. And so that's just, I don't know. But whatever. It's not my problem anymore. They're going to have to deal with that. Oh, they're going to have to deal with that. It was weird too, because one of the clients I met that was at the smoke break, like, literally was like, oh, I love your smile, I love your teeth. Yeah, they're like that. But, like, They were like cool with me, so it's like that's weird. But yeah, this sets me back for the job. I did finally fix my sleep schedule because I'm about to go to bed after I upload this video. It is 1 o'clock, but like it's still pretty early. I pretty much got it down to where I'm going to bed at 2 a.m. instead of like 5 a.m. So this is a big improvement. And I do. Bright side is I do have clothes for other jobs. You know, I did get a new wardrobe. Not a new wardrobe, like you know. So I never had men's like formal wear, for business casual, but I do now. So like I have like a couple of pair of boots. I have a couple of pair of slacks that actually fit me. A couple of polo shirts, a couple of knit shirts, like. So I do have a wardrobe for later. It's just like, you know, I really was expecting I was gonna have a paycheck on the 20th. Because you need to save up money. And we need to buy off pay off my car the fellow gave us. It's like, god damn it. Yeah. This is something that I'm gonna go in the bar on Friday, and I'm gonna tell Mary what's happening. I'm gonna be like, Mary, you would not believe my stepmom. You would not believe. She's gonna be so thrown back as well. Because I get along so well with the people at the bar because I'm so nice. On the bright side, though, I do need to take the copy of the deed that I have. No, I do have the actual deed. Take a copy of the death certificate, a copy of the will, go to the DMV, put my name on the house so that we can start doing taxes. And that's like in the morning because they're only open from like 8 to 4. So like tomorrow I do have I can finally have time to like, because the longer I wait, the more the taxes go up. So I do have time to do that. So I'm looking at the plus side of things. And one of my friends did make a good point. If they're going to be like this now, what were they going to do to me later on? So, yeah. I'm just like, what do they want from me? It's like one of those things that's so out of left field that's going to eat away at you a little bit because you have no idea what you would do differently. So you're just like, what the fuck? Like, what just happened? I wanted to see the Winnie the Pooh movie that's coming up on Halloween, Valentine's Day. I really wanted to see that. I don't have to spend money anymore now. But, you know, I just gotta keep going forward. Yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna apply to the places my husband linked me to. He linked me like 4 jobs. One's a lab tech. Not like one of those jobs you always thought that you would have to have like college, some kind of training, like vocational training. Turns out to be a lab tech. That's entry level job. That's like X-ray lab people. Yeah, that's entry level. You don't need shit for that. And it's like, what? It's like, when you're an adult and you find out half the jobs don't actually need college credit for. But that's one of the jobs that's hiring. And I'm going to see what that's about. You gotta think, I'm closer to the perfect job. Alright, foraging 200, fishing 964, mining 660, other 40 sets 1864. That's not bad. Not bad. Sorry. Alright, well, this is gonna be a good stopping point. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a quits for this. I'm starting to lose my voice again, and yeah, I need to go to bed. But yeah, so, you know, sometimes when one door closes, another one opens. So we're going to be optimistic with this. We're going to be optimistic. I'm just one step closer to getting the better job. You know, what's not meant to be. So hope y'all like the video, you know, subscribe and leave a comment, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.